Good morning students, welcome all of you to online English class. So today we are going to take poem When You Are Old written by W.B. Yeats, that is William Butler Yeats. William Butler Yeats was one of the modern poets who belongs to 20th century. And he was one of the world's popular love poet. Before we begin the poem, let us see the poet's introduction. William Butler Yeats is an Irish poet and one of the foremost figures of 20th century literature. His early poetry is part of the Celtic Twilight or the Irish literary revival, and it uses the history, myths and heroic figures of Ireland. So here William Butler Yeats, he born in Ireland and he belonged to the Irish literary revival. And whatever the poetry he writes, poetry or play he writes, in that he uses history, myths and heroic figures of Ireland. He wrote plays. He was one of the founders of the Abbey Theatre in Dublin. So Abbey Theatre, so it is one of the most popular theatre in Ireland. So he was one of the founders and was witness to the revolutionary politics of Ireland. He was awarded the Nobel Prize for Literature in 1923. It's very important. In 1923, for his literature, he was awarded Nobel Prize. Later, under the influence of Ezra Pound, he began to write modernist poetry. Ezra Pound, he was another poet who belongs to England. Under the influence of this Ezra Pound, this W.B. Yeats, William Butler Yeats started writing modernist poetry. He is one among the great love poets of the world. Now let us see what is the background of the poem When You Are Old. In this love poem, the speaker, who is the lover. So now in the poem, who is the speaker? A lover. So a lover is the speaker. And he imagines his beloved in the future when she is old and reading the book of poems he is now writing. Means in the poem we have a lover, he is a speaker and he is imagining, he is just taking his beloved to future when she becomes old. And now at that time in future he wanted her to read the book of poems he is writing now. So now he is writing poems about her, about his true love, and he wanted her to read that poems in future when she becomes old. At that time he wanted her to read the poem. Reading the book, she will remember the past, her youthful beauty and the many who admired her. By reading that book, by reading the poems, she will remember. She will once again dream of, means she will once again remember, she will once again go back to her past, that is her youthful beauty, and so many people, so many admirers who just liked her, prized her for her beauty, while others loved her physical beauty and grace. There were so many ready to love her because of her physical beauty, because of her appearance, because of her looks. Only he loved her soul's search for something meaningful. However, she will also feel sad that love also vanished. Now, he is saying that there was only one person who loved her truly, while others loved her physical beauty, but there was only one person who loved her soul and her soul's search for something meaningful. One person loved her innate character, qualities, instead of loving her physical beauty only her appearance. There was a person who loved her qualities, her innate character. And who is that one person? That one person is the speaker, the lover. However, she will also feel sad, that love also vanished. But even she feels sad, she realizes that even that true love has vanished. Why? Because it's too late, she became too old, she lost her true lover. But she is going to realize his true love, the speaker's true love, only when she becomes old and only when she gets to know the real love and how others were loving only her beauty. Note how love is personified in the last lines. In the last lines of the poem, the love is personified. So personified means it's a metaphor where a quality or a thing or a character is compared to a person. So here love is compared to a person, as if love is having life, as if love is the person. So love is compared to person, so that's why it's called as personification. So let us begin the poem. Before we start the poem, let us see the pre-reading activity. In the pre-reading activity, we have two questions. The first one, is there a difference between love and infatuation? Is there any difference between love and infatuation? Yes, of course, there is a difference between love and infatuation. So then what's the difference? The difference is that love, it might start with beauty, but it continues forever, for so long. But infatuation, it starts with beauty, attraction, and it just vanishes. It's just temporary. It's not permanent. It is just matter of moment. When that beauty is gone, when that attraction is gone, infatuation is also gone. So infatuation is just temporary. It starts with beauty. It only concerns, it only matters about, it only concerns about beauty, physical appearance. But love is not like that. For that we can take, the best example is motherly love. So if a mother has given birth to two infants, in that one child is very healthy, good looking, and another child is very ugly and blind as well, then the mother is not going to show any difference between them based on their appearance, based on their physical condition. She loves both the childs equally, and she loves that physically handicapped, that blind child even more. She loves her even more. She takes care of that child even more. But it not happens with the other worldly love, because worldly love, its only infatuation starts with beauty, but true love doesn't have to do anything with beauty. Though love starts with beauty, but it is beyond beauty. It's a kind of beautiful relationship, kind of feeling for which you need to dedicate your life. You need to manage that relationship. That is love, and infatuation is just temporary. Do you think perception of love changes as one gets older? One more question. When you are at young age, you think of love in some perspective, some point of view. But when you get older and older, when you get experienced, when you become experienced, your perception of love, your point of view towards love continuously changes. Yes, it changes because when you were young, your way of looking towards life, your way of looking towards love, your way of looking towards the relationship is completely different. When you grown up, when you become wise, when you become old, then the way of looking towards life and love completely changes. You become very matured, very experienced, then your way of love becomes very mature, it becomes very broader, then you think complete new perception towards love. Let us begin the poem. When you are old and grey and full of sleep and nodding by the fire, take down this book and slowly read and dream of the soft look your eyes had once and of their shadows deep. How many loved your moments of glad grace and loved your beauty with love false or true, but one man loved the pilgrim soul in you and loved the sorrows of your changing face. and bending down beside the glowing bars, murmur a little sadly, how love fled and paced upon the mountains overhead and hid his face amid a crowd of stars. When you are old and grey and full of sleep. Now the speaker, he is writing the poem and he is addressing his beloved. He is speaking to his beloved and he is saying through his poem which he is writing now. And what he is saying in the poem, let us see. When you are old and grey and full of sleep. Now he is addressing, he is saying to his beloved what he is saying. When you are old, when you become old in future. He is taking her to future, which is unreal condition. He is imagining it like that. He is taking her to future when she becomes old. When she becomes old in future, grey and full of sleep, her hair turned grey, and whatever the activeness, liveliness, whatever the vibrant qualities were there in her when she was young, all the vibrant qualities, active qualities, liveliness is gone because she has become too old. So if somebody is too old, so that is called as ripen age. So now she has reached such age, ripen age, too old. She has become very weak and whatever her beauty was there, it was completely vanished. When you become old, grey and full of sleep. Why full of sleep? When compared to young people and old people, if you see old people, they feel sleepy, they feel inactive, they look inactive, they feel sleepy because that energy is not there, that young energy, warm blood is not there, so that's why they are just full of sleep. So just like that, this old lady, the speaker's lover, even she is old, grey and full of sleep and nodding by the fire, and she is nodding, she is shivering, she is nodding her head because of the weakness of nerves, because of ripen age, old age and nerves weakness. She is nodding, shivering by the fire. So by the fire means in almost all the foreign countries, in the living room, in the hall, we have a fire shelf in the hall itself. So where the people sit next to that fire shelf to make themselves warm, to keep themselves warm, because the climate in foreign countries is always cold. The climate is always cold. To make themselves warm of this cold climate, they have a fire shelf. Now this lady is also sitting by that fire shelf. So that's why nodding by the fire. She is sitting next to that fire shelf. She is nodding, shivering because of old age. Take down this book. So now he is saying, whatever the book, whatever the poems I am writing now, you take down this book and slowly read and dream of the soft look. And slowly read. How she is going to read the poem? She will read the poem slowly and dream of the soft look. So dream means she remembers her past. By reading the poem which he is writing now, she remembers her past, her youthful days. Soft look refers to her youthful days, her youthful beauty, her physical beauty, her good appearance, young appearance. She is going to remember that young appearance, youthful beauty when she reads the book of poems. Your eyes had once, and of their shadows deep. And when she was young, her eyes were having soft look, brightness, attractive look, and of their shadows deep. And of their shadows deep means whatever the happy moments, sorrow moments she has gone throughout her youthful days, she is going to remember that by reading the book of poems which is written by the speaker, and she is going to read the book when she becomes old. He is writing the book at present when she is young, when he is young, but she is going to read that book when she becomes old. At that time she remembers her youthful beauty, young looks, good appearance and the brightness in her eyes, and whatever the happy and sorrow moments she has gone through her youthful days. How many loved your moments of glad grace? So how many loved your moments of glad grace? So moments of glad grace. So here moments means temporary, glad grace means physical beauty. Young appearance, beautiful appearance. How many? There were so many who loved her physical beauty and loved her beauty with love false or true. They loved her only because of her beauty. Their love is false. It may be false, it may be true. At that time, when she was young, so many loved her, so many liked her, so many prized her, so many just adorned her, worshipped her. But at that time, she doesn't know whose love is true, whose love is just infatuation, whose love is just temporary. She doesn't know because she was beautiful, everybody used to love her. But after she becomes old, then only she is going to know, then only she is going to realize whose love is true love. But one man loved the pilgrim soul in you and loved the sorrows of changing face. But there was one man. So this one man refers to the speaker. In other words, we can indirectly say that this one man refers to the poet who loved her pilgrim soul. Pilgrim soul means questing soul. Questing means the soul which is searching for something new, to achieve something. The soul is continuously trying to achieve something. So here the speaker's beloved, she is always wanted to achieve something, and that character, that achieving nature is loved by that one man. That one man is the speaker himself, and loved the sorrows of your changing face. So one more very important thing, underline this. He loved her pilgrim soul. Along with that pilgrim soul, he loved sorrows of her changing face. Not only the beauty of her youth, he loved the ugly looks of her old age as well. Loved the sorrows of your changing face. It means the speaker is claiming that, the speaker is confirmly assuring that he is not only loving her physical beauty, and he even loves her even when she becomes old, even when she completely loses her beauty. That's why he is saying, loved your sorrows of changing face. So he loved the sorrows of her changing face as well, her old age as well. He loved her youthful days as well as her old age. And bending down beside the glowing bars, murmur a little sadly, how love fled and paced upon the mountains overhead, and hid his face amid a crowd of stars. At last, in the third stanza, the speaker is saying, and bending down beside the glowing bars. So glowing bars is nothing but the bars, the supportive iron rods in the fire shelf. So because of the heat, because of the fire, that iron rods, so they are looking bright. The heat transferred from the firewood, from coal to these glowing bars, the glowing coal. So the coal which is there in this fire shelf, so because of that coal which is burning brightly, so that iron bars are looking like glowing bars, and she is bending. So because of the old age, because she is too old, ripen age, she just bent herself and murmur a little sadly. Murmur, she is speaking in a feeble voice, weak voice, low voice, and she is speaking to herself a little sadly. And she is speaking sadly, she is not speaking happily. Sadly she is speaking to herself. What she is speaking? How love fled. So how love fled. So how love fled. How love escaped, or how love fly away. Well, because earlier that love was there, but now that true love is not there. And paced upon the mountains overhead. And paced upon the mountains overhead means it shows a considerable, very long distance, such a distance that love cannot be regained, that love is completely lost. When she was young, so many suitors, so many people, so many persons loved her, admired her, but when she became old, nobody is ready to even look at her, nobody is cared about her. Why? Because they loved only her beauty. But one man continuously loved her. That one man is the speaker, But now that man is also not there, that true love is also not there. It means that person, he has reached, paced means moved upon the mountains overhead. He just moved far away distance. He is not going to come back and hid his face amid a crowd of stars. Hid, it is the past tense of hide. The true love also hid his face amid a crowd of stars. So amid a crowd of stars means heaven. It means that true lover, the speaker, he is no more, he is dead. It is indirectly said that true lover, the speaker, in a way indirectly the poet, is no more. After the death of the speaker, the lady is going to realize his true love. The speaker's beloved, she is going to realize, she is going to recognize his true love only after his death and only after she becomes old. But it is too late. Even after realizing, it is useless because she is not going to get that love back. Why? Because he has moved and he has paced upon the mountains overhead and he just hid his face amid a crowd of stars. He is no more, he is dead. At that time she realizes, she has a sad feeling that how she lost the precious love, true love. Like this, here the speaker expresses his true love by taking her to future, an unreal condition, and makes a claim that his love is unconditional. His love is not related to any condition. His love is beyond beauty. His love is true love. His love is forever. His love is evergreen. Why? Because true love is evergreen, forever. It doesn't have any expectations. It doesn't look for only beauty. It doesn't look for power. It doesn't look for, it just looks for some kind of caring and relationship and confidence and trust, and it continues till a lifetime. And one more thing, one more fact, we can say that the poem looks very general, but the poem is kind of autobiographical because William Butler Yeats, W.B. Yeats, in his life, even he loved a lady called Maud Gonne. What is the name of the lady? The name of the lady is Maud Gonne. She was Anglo-Irish actress and feminist. He loved her. He continuously proposed her 3 times, but she continuously rejected him. 3 times he proposed her, 3 times also she rejected him. When he got rejected for the 3rd time, then he wrote this poem in October 1891. In October 1891, he wrote the poem, and by writing this poem, he claimed that his love is true love and his love is different from others. While others loved her physical beauty, but he truly loved her pilgrim soul and sorrows of her changing face. He loved her character. By this, we can say that love is nothing to do with beauty, but infatuation has everything to do with beauty. Love may start with beauty, but it continues to a lifetime even after the beauty vanishes. But infatuation starts with beauty, it vanishes as beauty vanishes. I hope all of you have understood this poem. In the next class, I am going to dictate the 1 mark questions from this poem. Until then, all of you take care. Bye.